Good morning and welcome back. We've had a couple nice days. We've had a few days of frost, but today I think it's going to get in the 70s. Ooh, so it's like late summer. And I've got to catch up. So what I want to do today is I'm going to go out there, uncover the boat, move things around so I can get to it. And I want to fill in some of the lower spots, the spots where you can still see the weave on the surface, and I want to fill those in with some thickened resin, and any dips and holes I want to fill them in a little bit. So maybe we'll have a couple more warm days for that to harden, for me to come out and sand them and get my final sanding done. I'd really like to get this thing sanded and painted before winter flies. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Every morning starts with fuel. Now it's time to mix up the resin and get started. So I'm not going to video the entire process today because it is windy as heck, as you can probably see, and I'm going to be moving quick when I put the resin on. I'm afraid that I'm going to be looking like I'm making some kind of a Mod Podge thing by putting the resin on and having leaves stuck everywhere. It's going to look like some kind of a kid's craft project. But anyways, just to show you what I want to do in advance, you can see like over here there's still a lot of weave. I'm going to fill in things like that. I'm going to fill in things like this here. Let's see, there's a dip over here that didn't get filled in. So some things, of course I still have to sand down this whole side when I get to it. It doesn't look too bad. Actually, I should probably sand some of this before I put it on. See some more dips here. The back transom actually looks real good. Over here, this is all sanded and ready to go, but you can see there's all kinds of weave that didn't get filled in. Little dings and divots, and so I'm going to try to fill that all in. It's a larger area than I thought, so I did buy a squeegee. I'm going to try to squeegee it, see if that works better, especially over here. Alright, so I just finished coating pretty much everything. I did a skim coat on the entire boat with the resin, epoxy resin, and a filler, and I just ran out of the filler. So I was able to squeeze it through, and as you can see, You can still see the weave, but that's through the clearness of the filler. And you can see over here from the glare, it came up pretty shiny, pretty smooth. And I'm going to sand a lot of that off to make it even smoother. So I have to let this dry probably today and tomorrow. There's some of the holes I filled in there. Today and tomorrow. And I am going to sand it the next day, probably Sunday or the beginning of next week. Don't want to wait too long. And you can see over here, same thing. It was interesting. This worked a lot better for me than when I did it last time. I was able to have enough time to do it all, but I did it in a lot smaller portions. I believe I did 250 milliliters, which is like a quarter of one of those smaller cups of hardeners and epoxy, versus filling the thing up, which was like 1,000. So this way, towards the end, it wasn't completely dry, but I was still able to work with it. A couple tricks, things that really helped out was, number one, to use a squeegee. I put it all on with the squeegee, works really nice. I can reuse it. I've used the same one about 3 times now by using epoxy, by using acetone to clean it off. And so I put this on to spread it out, but it spreads it out because you can see how soft it is. It spreads it out pretty thin, and then I go over it with this, and I'm able to spread it even wider. On this side, with the squeegee, the whole 250 liters came up to about here. I'd say right about here, so you can see just the front quarter of the boat. Then when I smooth it out, it went almost all the way to the back. And the top, I did most of the weave. The bottom of the boat, I mean, the boat's upside down. So the bottom, this part here, you can see I only went that far. I didn't do the rest of it because I'm going to be putting not only a primer, but also I bought a bottom paint, which is really thick, so that should fill in everything. So there you go. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate having you watching me and keep an eye on me. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye now.